So what's up with you, Lee cocksucker? What'd you think of the barbecue in Austin? Give people the review.
Well, it was great.
Where have you had? I made barbecue wings on Super Bowl Sunday. What did,
First of all, the wings at the hotel were great. But okay, so I had it the first time we went to Austin. We were staying in this weird location. So I just took a cab one day, and it was like a chain. People know it. I talked to people about it in Austin. It's a chain that's in like gas stations, sort of. But it was good. I enjoyed it. And then this time we had luckily Bobby Sharon, and he took me to Black's. And there wasn't like because I would love in theory to try Franklin's, but I can't. I was talking to some people. They get there like 6 a.m. That's too much. That's I can't do that. So Black's there was like a line for like 5 minutes. We got Bobby Sharon tricked me though. He told me to get a beef rib, which I didn't know was like the Flintstones style rib.
Did you eat the whole thing?
No, I couldn't. I ate most. I got half a pound of brisket. I got potato salad.
I'm starving right now. You're talking about barbecue.
What do you think of Texas as a whole?
It has a really bad reputation where I'm from. It's really weird. Because I don't know. It's where I'm from is mostly Democrat, I would guess. And there's mostly Republican, and it's crazy how much it divides people. So I always hear about Texas, like I forget who we were talking about, but someone was driving cross country, and they said, "Don't stop in these towns." Like that's what people would say to me about Texas. Like you don't want to be a Jew in Texas. And then when I moved out here, I started hearing about Austin with South by. You know what it might have been? How this dates me, but I was a kid, and The Real World was there, the show was, and they had like a video thing. And that was their job. They were working at South by Southwest. And that was right when I wanted to start doing videos. So I was like, that Austin might be fucking cool. That might be nice. And then you hear about it. And every time I go, it changed my life driving cross country here the first time because I drove through the South. And they're just fucking nicer. They're even at the gas station, it's just sweet. Like you said you hate Waffle House. I'll always love Waffle House because every time you go in, they're nice. When I was
the food's bad.
I know the
food's terrible.
The food's
but the service has got like a smile.
How can you can't mess up a waffle? I mean, just don't get eggs.
Well, who goes in there for a fucking waffle?
It's a Waffle House.
That doesn't mean you go in there for a fucking waffle.
Yes, you do.
I've sat in there with 10 times. I never had a waffle.
I've never got the eggs there.
I went to Waffle House for the first time when I was in Tennessee doing Bonnaroo, and everybody's like, you got to get the hash browns. What are they called?
I don't know. I haven't been that often.
They're like, it's like cheese and something else on. They're called like split it and win it. They have like a something real quasi racist. You know what I mean? Somebody made up, and it was bullshit. It was literally just like hash browns you get at Denny's with a piece of cheddar cheese on it.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't get anything but waffles there. But the whole point was,
terrible.
And then the past both times, just everyone I meet, whenever we get to go out and say hi, or everyone's just so nice to me there, and it's.
First of all, I've never looked at it as a Republican or a Democrat. I've never considered myself anything as a child. Nothing. I always thought that was the dumbest fucking thing I ever heard in my life. So I've never thought about it that way. But let me tell you the reality about Texas. For me, in my life, I cut my comedy teeth in Texas.
You were saying
if I break my dates down that I worked in Texas, it would have probably been 5 years. 6 years out of my 25 years. And they went along for the rides. You know, I bombed in a lot of places. Austin was one of them. I used to bomb in Austin all the time. Because they're conservative in a way.
Well, isn't Austin a little bit more, like, it's kind of like a...
It's artsy.
It's artsy.
It's artsy.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more... people say it's more free thinking. I've had great times in fucking Houston and Dallas. I've had great times. I've had great times in El Paso. One of the nights of comedy I laughed the hardest in my life was in Amarillo Comedy Club. It's closed now. It's not even thought to be a comedy club. One of the hardest nights I ever laughed in. And there was 6 people in the audience.
Who was it?
It was myself, and Mike Faberman was the feature act. And I tell you this, 2 guys, this girl had the waitress there, had the biggest breast you ever saw in your life, and they were real. She was a chubby Mexican girl, but her tits had something happened to her, and she was about to go for the surgery.
To get them reduced?
To get them reduced like by half, because they were just ginormous, and she wasn't a stripper. She was a student. Like, had to stop going to school because they ridiculed her.
Jesus.
Her mother was Mexican. The dad was Mexican. They owned the Mexican restaurant next door to it. And there was a comedy club there. Froggy Bottoms had been there for years. See if Froggy Bottoms is still open, Lee.
In what city?
Amarillo, Texas. Or I think it's Amarillo, but let's just ask Froggy Bottoms Comedy Club. And that club, they closed, and they felt so bad they opened it as a restaurant. But then people started coming and going, where's the comedy? Where's the comedy? And they started calling. They didn't know what they were doing. They had no idea. They knew nothing.
They have one in Lubbock.
Lubbock. Is it still open?
I think so.
Let's see. Lubbock. It wasn't Amarillo. Amarillo was Kelly Moran's club.
No, it closed, according to Yelp.
How long ago?
Let me check that. I don't know.
Because it was like Rose's Mexican restaurant. Lee Syatt, your head would have blown up at this place. I never forgot how good the tamale was, with lettuce and cheese on top of the lettuce.
Did they get it from the restaurant next door?
The restaurant owned the comedy club. They ended up buying it, and they had a daughter named Julia. And they didn't know nothing about promotions, nothing. We get there, they had a condo that they bought from the comedy club. Nice condo, nice little fucking 3 days. But that particular night, I was on stage for 6 people. And there was one guy that was drinking doubles. And every time he'd look at her, you could see that her tits were getting bigger. Right? He would just look at them, and like at first, it was like he was very polite. He was a Christian man. You could see that he was raised well. But after 6 drinks, those titties are those titties.
He popped a couple nicotine gums, and he was off to the race.
He was off and running. And he would just sit there and go, "Hoo-yah!" Like he would just, and every time he was in his living room calling his wife.
Yeah.
And every time he'd look, like he'd go, like he looked at her, like, "Look at the size of your titties, Julia." And then she would walk away, and he'd go, "Julia." So by the end of the show, he was fucking hammered by the end of the show, and all he would say is, "Julia." And he would doze off for 2 minutes, and people would goofing on him and throwing shit at him, and he'd wake up and he'd go, "Julia." And that was it. He went home saying Julia, and every time he said Julia, I got to tell you, it was funnier than anything I had to say, because I was on stage just laughing at him.